GZM Shows and the creators of 6 Minutes are rolling out their newest audio adventure with the podcast Discovering Dad. A cautious single dad with a secret past and his rebellious kids embark on a thrilling quest complete with hidden treasure, villains, and a family curse. New episodes of Discovering Dad roll out weekly starting June 11th on Apple Podcasts. Follow the show so you never miss an episode, or listen early and ad-free as a GZM Shows subscriber. Go to gzmshows.com to learn more.
Hey there, it's Rachel Ballinger, and I am thrilled to invite you to Rachel Uncensored, my podcast where I get real with my friends and celebrity guests, where we talk about all sorts of topics. From personal stories to hot-button issues, we cover it all. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so make sure you tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the fun and candid conversations we have here on Rachel Uncensored.
And now, Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast.
K-Flay has been around since 2014. She's from Chicago and has made a name for herself through her unique songs and her undeniably catchy vocal style. She's without a doubt one of today's best. With an effortless, laid-back approach, you'll hear it's pretty easy to get pulled into her music. And with the Grammy nominations, the hit singles, the amazing collaborations, she's well worth all of the attention. And when K-Flay was a guest, she was promoting her EP Inside Voices, which you know has Tom Morello from Rage and Travis Barker of Blink on that. She talked about that, making an album during COVID, the pandemic, and the lack of stimulation, which in turn leads to binge watching. She talked about watching New Girl, listening to a lot of podcasts. She gets into crossword puzzles. We talked about her Desert Island albums. Jordan and King James came up. Who is the GOAT? And Stop Me If You've Heard This Before. K-Flay talked about the amazing collaborations that she's done over the years and how those come about.
You know what's so funny about all of this? And I think when before I did music, I had no idea how anything worked, of course. And
yeah.
But so much of it is just like, I think people would be shocked at how casual so much of the behind the scenes on collaboration is, because most of it is just artist to artist, like texting, DMing, whatever.
Hey, you want to be on my song?
Well, and you know what's funny about that X Ambassadors track? So Sam Harris, who's the lead singer of X Ambassadors, and been a friend of mine now for about 4 or 5 years. We were on the same label for many years.
Okay.
He FaceTimed me. I was actually in my friend's, this was like beginning COVID. I was in my friend's front yard being like, this is insane. We were doing these reading in the yard on Sundays at my friend's house.
Okay.
This is like early COVID.
Yeah, just to hang, yep.
Just to sort of cope with the chaos. And Sam FaceTimed me and he was like, dude, I wrote this thing. And like Jordan's on it. Jordan's written some stuff, and would you want to check it out? I think like it could be awesome. And he sent it to me, and I listened. And I was like, oh, I love this. And that afternoon, I was at this point in COVID. By the way, I had set up a studio at my friend's house in their dining room because they were out of town.
Okay. Nice.
And I was like at their house during the day, using it as a studio, and then coming home to my place at night. And I went over to their house. I wrote the verse, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, recorded it, and there you have it.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Puff, purveyors of quality cannabis accessories since 1995. Use promo code TODCAST and get 20% off regularly priced accessories and apparel in-store and online at puff.ca.
Talmor, Sheshin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey there, it's Rachel Ballinger, and I am extremely excited to invite you to Rachel Uncensored. It's my podcast where I sit down and get real with my friends and celebrity guests, where we talk about all sorts of topics. And sometimes we might be under the influence when we do so. We cover things from personal stories to hot button issues. And it's the only place on the internet you can find an uncensored version of me. It's a side of me that you might not have seen before because it's not the most family or brand friendly. But don't worry, I'm still sort of slightly a decent human being. If you're intrigued, then make sure you check it out. New episodes drop every Wednesday. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the fun and candid conversations we have here on Rachel Uncensored.